Parliament.
Well, parenting is undoubtedly a lifelong career, but when can a parent finally stop paying maintenance? The issue remains a contentious one, and while the law protects children, some parents feel they're paying too much for too long. So to help us get a better understanding of these dynamics, I'm joined in studio now by Legal Aid South Africa's Hanoneshea Hendricks. Hanoneshea, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
I must ask you, off the cuff, how do you determine how much maintenance to pay?
So what the court does is it looks at the standard of living of the family, in this case the child, and what the child has been accustomed to. It looks at the need of that child in conjunction with that standard. And then it looks at the ability, the resources and the means available to the parent that must pay maintenance. And it balances that to find then the amount that must be paid. So it will differ from family to family based on those circumstances.
So it differs from family to family, and the amount in itself will differ given the fact that, you know, a child that is 16 will not necessarily have the needs of the child that is 3 years old. And given that, they then determine whether this child gets 6,000 Rand a month from either parent and this one gets maybe, let's say, 1,000 Rand a month from either parent, just simply because of the age difference and where they are.
Yes, and the age difference, and also, like I said, the standard of living. So the child could have been accustomed to doing all sorts of sports and then needs to continue that. And if the parent is able to have the means and the resources to pay that, then that is what the court will take into account. Whereas a child that is not involved in all those things and where their parents do not have the means to fulfill that, those amounts would not be the same then for children.
And then what happens in a situation where the parent says, listen, I'm unemployed, I simply cannot afford to pay maintenance, especially in the South African context? I'm sure you're not new to that.
Yes. So what the court does, it also looks at the parent and their ability to earn an income. So the court will not just accept, I don't have a job and I don't want to find a job. The court will look at what are you doing to earn an income and what is your abilities to earn an income. Where the parent do not have the means and is unemployed and cannot find a job to support the child, then the court takes that into account and in most instances would not make a maintenance order against such a parent. And if there's a maintenance order already in place, such a parent can approach the court to ask for a deduction in terms of what their means are now, so that they pay less maintenance in order to avoid defaulting on the entire maintenance order.
And these are such pertinent conversations, especially with the current economic climate, and especially given the dynamics and the family dynamics now that are constantly evolving. And many individuals will say, whether male or female, whether the parent is male or female, will say, but this parent simply refuses to come to the table and pay maintenance. I've tried to get a hold of my baby mama, or I've tried to get a hold of my baby daddy, and they just simply won't pay. They won't come to the table. They don't want to be involved. What rights and what recourse is there for that kind of situation?
So if a parent willfully defaults and that evidence is before the court can make an order against such a parent wherein to show that the parent has all the notice to appear, has all the means to appear, but they refuse to do so. And once that order is made, it is enforceable. So if that parent then defaults on that order, it becomes something where he or she can be charged criminally in a criminal court. And when you are charged in a criminal court, you face the chances of having a criminal record against you. And the court in a criminal court can also make an order where it says that if there's a third party that owes money to that parent that is defaulting, it can even make an order saying that that money should come directly for the maintenance obligations.
And of course, the million-dollar question, until what age then do the parents start paying maintenance or stop paying maintenance in the sense?
So it doesn't stop when a child reaches the age of majority, which in South Africa is 18. It is actually until the child is self-supporting.
What's self-supporting, Hanoneshea?
So when the child is able to generate and earn an income where they can sustain their own living standard. So this means that, for example, in South Africa, after a child turns 18 and reaches the age of majority, most of them are still in school, either secondary or tertiary school. So those children are not self-supporting. Even where the child does earn a small income while studying, the parent can still be called upon to supplement that income so that the child can maintain the standard of living that they are accustomed to.
Until what age? So if a child is, because a child does not stop being your child. A person will be 65 years old, and I bet you still see them as a child. So let's say that the person is 23 years old, and they've been unable to get a job, and there's a degree. These are realities in South Africa.
Yes.
They've got a degree or they've got a diploma, they can't get a job. The parent is still mandated to pay maintenance for that child or supplement them in some way.
Yes. If the child is not self-supporting, the duty to support still remains.
Even if the child is 30? and still living at home.
Even if the child is 30, but now you must consider that the court will look at the child's earning capacity. If the child is also willfully not trying to earn an income, that is something that the court will take into account. But if it's shown that the child has tried everything to earn an income, the duty of support would not end.
And then what support is there for individuals? As I said, this is unfortunately not new in the South African context when it comes to this issue around child maintenance, or papgeld, so should you say. So what support is there for individuals that are not simply winning when it comes to the maintenance debate and the ongoing conflict between, whether or not one parent wants more money than they ought to be giving and the other parent does not want to and keeps defaulting? What support is there? Where can that parent go?
Well, the support is at the maintenance court in terms of not being able to get as much money as is needed for the child. So you would go to the maintenance court to get an order that meets the needs of the child, and the court will then make that order. As mentioned before, if the party defaults on that order, then you can lay a criminal charge against that party, and then the criminal court will take control of the matter. As mentioned, the criminal court can make orders against third parties to get to pay the maintenance obligations, and even in the maintenance court it can go as far as attaching assets, attaching pension funds or pension proceeds, for future maintenance, where it is shown that the party is going to, for example, resign or leave their job and going to receive some maintenance. That money can be attached to pay future maintenance when you are not sure that that person will be in a job to pay the maintenance obligations. Also, just to end that, the duty to support is reciprocal, meaning that children that have the means and the resources also has a duty to support parents that do not have enough income to meet their needs. So so parents can also go to the maintenance court to claim maintenance from children that have the means to pay and support them.
Hanoneshea, we're going to leave it there for this afternoon, but thanks for joining us and shedding some light in terms of child maintenance, as well as exactly what happens in the event that a parent should default.